What's that? Hey, good evening, everyone. Hey, Lillian.
Hey, good evening, and welcome to Collards After Dark, presented and produced by Your Real Stories. I'm Dr. Lillian Dunlap, and this is
Jay Sheldon.
Sheldon.
We're the co-founders of Your Real Stories, and we're really excited to be here tonight.
Yeah, we have a great show for you. It's a pleasure to be able to again partner with the Tampa Bay Collard Greens Festival, a fantastic event that will be beginning tomorrow. But we're the kickoff. We're the pre-show for the Collard Greens Tampa Bay Collard Greens Festival, and it's been our pleasure to work with the founders of the festival over these many years. And tonight we're going to be interviewing them, so you'll learn the backstory, that other stuff, behind the scenes of what it takes to come up with something like the very successful Collard Greens Festival. So,
I was going to say, as promised, this is also a watch party because we interviewed them over a year ago on March 9th of 2020.
Yeah.
A really interesting, critical, important time.
COVID.
And just before we were quarantining here in St. Petersburg, we sat down to dinner with Boyzell, Hosey and Samantha Harris and featured them in an episode of Your Real Stories, a show that we broadcast, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that later. So we're really excited to be able to show Boyzell and Samantha this show for the very first time. I don't think they've seen it yet.
Right.
And so all of you.
If you like collard greens, or even if you don't like collard greens, we're certainly hoping that you'll enjoy seeing people enjoying collard greens. We learned a lot about collard greens when we were doing the interview with the founders and one of the winners of the contest. So This show has all of that. So the video, we'll be showing you the video, and we're going to take some breaks, right, Jay?
Yeah. So the whole documentary video that we've created is just about 22 minutes long, and it has 4 segments. So we're going to bring Boyzell in a few moments, and then we'll be watching the video together and just taking brief pauses so that we can get Boyzell's and maybe Samantha's first reactions to watching the show with us. And then we'll have a longer conversation after we watch the show and just have a little bit more of an interview, and then take some questions from those of you that are watching with us. You can chat, and we'll give you some more instructions later, but you'll be able to participate in the YouTube live chat.
So if you have some questions about collard greens, get them ready.
Yeah.
And we'll be going to that video.
Yeah, and we should point out that we actually got to taste collard greens. As you'll see in a few moments, Boyzell and Samantha made dinner for us, and we got to taste the famous recipe that started it all.
Right. Even sriracha.
Oh, see, it's an argument already. I like the turkey.
Well, and what everybody will see is that Samantha and Boyzell also argue about who has the best collard greens and whose aunt really produced the winning recipe. So hope you'll enjoy it.
All right.
Just waiting to interview the co-founder, Boyzell, Hosey.
Are you ready? Yeah. Yeah, we're so excited to bring Boyzell into the room.
There he is.
Hey.
Bye,
All right.
Hey, welcome, Boyzell.
Thank you. Thank you very much. What an honor to be a part of your real stories. This is amazing.
Well, we're honored to be producing isn't this the first virtual Collards After Dark?
It is. It is the first virtual Collards After Dark. And I was getting ready. Why did I splash cologne on myself? You know, it's virtual. I was like, I don't know.
Oh, the things we do in COVID.
You know, COVID has so sat on our lives that we've sort of forgotten.
It was from the bathroom to my computer here.
Coming into your office.
Yeah.
Well, Boyzell, you've created a wonderful event. You and Samantha Harris have created a wonderful event. Are you surprised now?
Are we surprised? Not really surprised. You know, this whole thing started off almost as a joke, and we mentioned that the notion of a festival about collard greens, we laughed at it. It's like, what? And then we wait a minute. That sounds kind of interesting. But the more we shared the idea with people, everyone got excited about it. So, you know, the excitement surrounding it and the success that we're having just in year 4, we're honored, we're humbled, but we're not surprised because every time we talked about it, we spoke about it, folks just lit up to want to share their stories about collard greens and the foods they love, and that's the hook. It's the storytelling around the foods to get people into the message.
And what is that message? What's the message about collard greens? Would you say?
You know, it's in our mission. You know, it kind of sounds like my elevator pitch now. You know, but it really is to inspire our local communities to live healthier through the foods we eat. You know, and we are using the attraction of the culinary experience, agriculture, and particularly urban agriculture, as we spread the message of how people can actually grow healthy foods, you know, in an urban environment.
Yes.
Nutrition, fitness, and we try to wrap it in family fun. And we listen. I'm not an expert. We're not experts. We're learning right along with everybody else. I think we're just facilitators, and so it's been fun to watch this festival grow. The thing I hear often now is that you know, people say our festival. It's our festival. So they've taken the community has taken ownership of the festival, and with the pandemic, they wouldn't let it die because we were within a hair's breadth of canceling, and we had to pivot so many times. You know, we're going to cancel. Then it was like, well, we'll just do virtual, and then we'll do a drive-through, and then we landed on this hybrid event, and it's been fast-paced trying to get it done. As a matter of fact, that's why Samantha's in there right now because she's still running around trying to do a few things as we launch tomorrow morning. So she may join us, but she's with us in spirit right now.
So you have a live and a virtual event that's taking place tomorrow. Right. So 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. tomorrow.
Right.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's a hybrid event. And we added something and it kind of got lost in our messaging. So if anyone out there is listening, we are going to have a mindfulness moment at 9:30 with yoga practitioners, Clayton Sizemore of Mindful Movement, Florida, and Annika Keeler, you know, great supporters of ours since day one. And they've been at the festival before, but since we've kind of compressed the festival this year, just being mindful of the moment that we're in. But we were able to add that. It didn't really get out in our main messaging because we say we're starting at 10. You know, but you know, when the festival starts, it's high energy. You know, we got the African drums going, and the vendors, and so we didn't feel like we can put yoga in the middle of that. But it's a good way to start the day. So if any of you are listening, bring your yoga mats at 9:30. It's going to be a beautiful day tomorrow as well.
That's great.
I'll tell you, one of my favorite things about the festival was the collard green smoothie. I don't know whether you're going to have that come back again, but I definitely went back several times to that table.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's by our good partners from the American Culinary Federation of Tampa Bay. So in year one, as we were sharing this idea, and people kept saying, "Well, you need to reach out to this organization or that person," and we were pointed in the direction of the American Culinary Federation of Tampa Bay, and we learned so much. We learned that Michelle Obama actually had encouraged the American Culinary Federation, to get involved with, nutrition and the professional chefs, of America. And so they were very interested in hearing what we had to say. And after our presentation at one of their general meetings, it was Chef Vince Blancato approached me and said, "Hey, we have a chef and child program, and we do these types of events all over in schools, and your event sounds wonderful. Can we join you?" And that's what we did. And last year they served up over 800 collard green smoothies, packed with nutrition.
Wow!
And it tastes good. I'm telling you, it's
Oh,
really good. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I did all I could to help them with that number. I was there. So, but that's really great.
Yeah.
And the other thing I want to ask you: had you intended to attract the whole family, everybody? Is that what is the crowd reflective of what you had imagined?
Yeah, well, that was one thing that we keyed in on early. That's intentional. Well, we knew that if we intentionally design things for the youth, then the adults would come, right? We knew it. And so we started off with figuring out what can we do to attract the youth. And so as this idea started to formulate, we said, yeah, we can do a kids zone. And what would be in that kids zone? And so, well, it's if we just stick to our mission, we can invite community garden organizations that have the expertise and they could design activities. And the first few years, we had attractions like bouncy houses and slides. We're not going to do that this year. Hopefully we can bring it back next year. But, the important educational stuff and these organizations like SUAC and St. Pete Youth Farm and the Bartlett Park Community Garden and Edible Peace Patch. These folks, they know what they're doing. They know how to design these scavenger hunts and activities to excite the imagination of kids. So we definitely want the festival to be a fun family atmosphere and as well as diverse.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Excellent. Well, so food brings people together. And on that note, it brought us all together in your kitchen, actually, in your house around your dining table in March. And it's a really special moment for me personally, because it was the last time that we actually had a dinner party. It's the last time I broke bread with anyone publicly. And that it's over a year now. And so we did that. And then we took the next week to actually create this show and submitted it. And, but you haven't seen it yet, I don't think.
No, I haven't seen it. Can't wait. But you're right. That message, it's dawned. It's been a tough year. It's been a tough year for, my family and I. COVID hit us, really, really, really tough. So to be able to, to be at this moment to talk about still doing the festival, and carrying the spirit of my brother and my father and my brother-in-law with us, who were big supporters. Of course, my dad and my mom, they were big gardeners. And then my brother, he held down the food court, and he was the one who developed the special oils. And my brother-in-law, it was a big monetary sponsor of the festival. So they're with us in spirit. But other people have mentioned that too, that was like one of the last things good to happen in 2020. And it's like everything kind of shut down after that. And so we have a lot of T-shirts, to give out tomorrow from 2020. So it was like one of the few things positive to happen.
Well, you never have too many Tampa Bay colored green T-shirts.
No.
So.
It's just designed by the great Steve Madden, great former artist of the Tampa Bay Times. He's freelancing now, but he made that logo, so it's something.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So we had such a great talk with you, and I'm really excited to be able to share some of that talk. The little bit of behind the scenes that I'll share is that I think that the video shoot for this show that people are about to see was about 7 hours long, right? We showed up for dinner at about 6 o'clock, and we ate dinner. And we should tell everybody we had 3 cameras and a full camera crew led by Chris Zupa Pictures. So he's the lead photographer on this whole episode you're about to see. And Rachel Harrison was the sound engineer and turned Boyzell's pool table into a sound booth.
Studio.
So we'll tell you more about the behind the scenes, but just to give you a little taste of what went into what we're going to show you in a few minutes.
Nice.
So, everybody ready to watch?
Yep.
Oh, I'm definitely.
All right.
I can hardly wait to see Boyzell's reaction to this. Here we go.
All right.
Andrida's going to join me.
Oh, excellent.
Let me move this over.
If you give people time, people will open up. And so we give people a rare opportunity, a real gift, and at the same time, a gift to ourselves of being present in a room when people are actually talking about ideas and feelings that matter to them and have shaped their lives.
This week we sat down with some people who love collard greens. They love cooking collard greens, and they love their community so much that it inspired them to create the Tampa Bay Collard Green Festival. We went to the home of Boyzell and Andrida Hosey to hear some of the stories and taste the recipes behind the festival. We also got to meet Samantha Harris and Kiva Williams when they joined us for dinner. Samantha and Boyzell co-founded the festival. Kiva is a huge festival fan and has placed in the Collard Green Cook-Off for the last 2 years.
Oh!
Hello, everyone.
Speaking of collard greens.
So happy you're here tonight and partaking in this meal.
Oh,
What you
yeah.
have in front of you are 2 samplings of greens.
Okay.
All right. We have our traditional with smoked turkey,
Okay.
and this is the vegan sriracha.
Sriracha. So is
Vegan
it hot?
sriracha. It's got a little kick to it.
Yeah. Oh, it is hot.
Well, you'll be the judge. You'll be the judge. So let me. So what would you think? You want to try a little bit of both?
Oh,
Or you-
perhaps so.
Right?
Okay.
Well,
Sure. I'll have
You
a
can
little
just
bit
try
of
both.
both. Yeah. Let's
Okay.
see how. I think this is going to be my favorite.
This is gonna be your favorite. Okay.
But I'm not so
This
sure.
is traditional.
because
So if you like,
Oh.
You know?
Oh, that looks good even on the plate.
right.
Oh,
That's good.
perfect. That is
Okay.
perfect.
And then we'll get the biggest spoon here.
Spice it up with a
Just
little.
spice it up a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. We'll do that.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very good. And then you have your cornbread.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you. Does it look
Okay,
good or what? All right. You
Jane,
want to pass
can I
it
get your
around?
plate?
Yes,
Would you like to try both?
Thank
All
you.
right. And then
Yes.
we got the tradition,
Oh,
the normal. Here.
So these are both famous. The
Yeah.
famous non-meat
Right.
and the famous
And
collard greens with turkey.
exactly.
Smoked turkey.
Smoked turkey. And here's the
Yes.
deal. I mean,
Yes.
these are made with an electric pressure cooker.
Wow.
Right? Not a
Thank you.
traditional stovetop electric cooker, but
I mean,
an electric pressure
spicy.
cooker. Right. Here's the deal with the electric pressure cooker. It's the fact that we all are time challenged today.
Yes.
And the fact that we can actually make greens, collard greens in about 30 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
30
Yes.
minutes.
Who
Now,
would've
start to
thought 30?
finish,
Unheard
start
of.
to finish,
Right. Unheard of.
from prep, just say 1 hour. But to cook them, 25 or 30 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amen. Amen.
Who's going
Yeah.
first?
Oh, you can't forget your cornbread.
Oh no.
You
Oh,
gotta
okay.
get your
Oh, yeah.
cornbread.
I grabbed
Oh,
mine.
yeah.
Get your cornbread on.
I labored over this.
Wait. So when you have cornbread, though, do you dip it or you use a fork? What do you do?
Oh,
personal
man.
preference.
Okay, so like if I'm out in public, I use a fork.
Right.
When I'm by myself,
Yeah.
get the thing,
Right.
get this,
You gotta get the
that's my mom used to say, that tastes best when you put this
right.
dough
It really
like that.
does. That is exactly how my
Old
grandmother ate.
school. Old school.
Really?
She just sort of peel off a little piece and then
just
roll
get
it
in there.
around
Oh,
and
my God.
oh yeah,
Nothing better. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
We could just
I
put
wish
the
we could return
silverware.
to those days.
You
Man.
can't. At home.
In your own home.
That's right. Every day. Okay, I have got to. Let me
Okay.
just taste these. So I'm
Which
gonna
one is
taste
you doing
the-
first?
I'm going to taste the
Vegan.
vegan first.
Okay. I'm going with the smoked turkey.
Okay.
Okay, I'm doing the smoked turkey.
Yeah. me The smoked turkey is really good.
You like that?
Yes.
Oh, that was so good.
Yeah, it's my recipe.
And
Oh.
it's
Is
not,
it really?
No, it is not her recipe.
Whose recipe is
See,
it?
that's how the shenanigans start.
That's how it is.
That's how the shenanigans start.
Is this how the collard green
Right there.
festival started?
Pretty much. You know.
Okay, now I'm having the
Wait,
smoked
this
turkey.
is how the festival got started?
Yeah,
Well.
two friends
Okay, I need to know.
fighting over a recipe.
Well, I mean, so we started, actually, Andrida and I, my wife, we bought an electric pressure cooker. So this thing arrived and we started experimenting with making greens, right? And so, we started off using smoked turkey and we're using chicken broth. We were putting the chicken broth in the pot, and they were coming
right.
out pretty decent. And they were getting pretty good. And Andrida loves collard greens.
So do I.
And she teaches liturgical dance at our church. And so a lot of her ladies would make her collard greens. Big pots of collard greens. So
I
one day
see.
Miss Edith
Miss
comes
Edith.
over. She brings over a big pot of collard greens. And I said, "Hey, Miss Edith, guess what? I'm getting pretty good at making collard greens in an electric pressure cooker." Man, she laughed, man. Make no collard greens. Old school.
Right. Like grandma would be like, "What? What are you doing right now?"
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. It can't be done.
It sounds blasphemous.
Exactly. But so I kind of took that as a challenge. And so Andrida had been coating the greens with like olive oil, and we had our seasonings that we were doing. And one day I forgot to put the liquid in the pressure cooker. I said, "I don't know what's going to happen here." Because I forgot to put the liquid in the pot, but it was too late because it had locked. The pressure had started. It was counting down.
That's why I'm scared of the pressure cookers. I'm scared of the whole locking thing and it's blowing up on me.
Well, see, that's
You're
that's the old
not
stovetop.
alone.
I'm like,
You're not alone.
But that's the old stovetop style. I
Yeah.
mean, but the electrical ones, I haven't heard anything
At
like
all.
that.
Okay.
And it's precise.
Okay.
It's every time it's the same.
Let's just say a word about those old ones, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
man.
they have ruined many a ceiling.
projectiles. Yeah. I'm scared.
Yeah, horrible.
People have put
There were a lot of stories about
Exactly
cooking
what it
growing
did.
up.
I remember like Sundays, we just did, playing in the yard, and my mom would be cooking, and we knew when she pulled out that pressure cooker, we knew it'd be like another 3 or 4 hours before we ate. We already knew. So we just went outside and we just played. We got really tired. But I remember coming in, and it's just the noise. It's like this pressure. It's like this continuous
Building.
steam, like a steam.
Scary.
It just keeps going. And then she tells you when she takes it off the stove and she's putting it in the sink, she's like, "Back up, kids.
Right.
There's that flying projectile." because it was liable to just fly. She would literally tell us, "Okay, leave the kitchen." And she would put it under running water, and then she would open it up, and then the food would be ready. But again, it would be 3 to 4 hours later. I mean, we'd be almost dead. We started right. We weren't.
now the pressure cookers are so much more sophisticated.
Oh, yeah.
So you chose to use
Yeah.
pressure cooker.
Yeah,
to
that's
make
it.
things.
Right.
But you've been making collard greens in a regular pot.
Actually, I think I might have made collard greens maybe once.
More collard green confessions when we come back.
Wow.
That's great.
Funny.
Oh, good to see you, Andrida. We're nice to sort of remember that night, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It really is. That was a good night. That really was a good night.
Yeah.
There was so much eating.
So I should ask you now if there been some improvements that you can share in your collard green preparation?
Wow, without giving away my trade
Yeah.
secret. Yeah, well, we continue to experiment with it. We become really interchangeable in making these greens now. Sometimes she will prep, and I'll cook, or I'll prep and she'll cook. And so I'll tell you this, so we feel, everybody has a way to make greens. Like even for the festival, we have some great partners who are helping us cook for our food court tomorrow. And it's going to be come first serve. I'm not sure if we're going to have enough to feed everybody who comes to the festival. And so I shared my video on how I make them, and I delivered my pressure cookers to one of the partners. He's like, yeah, I watched your video, but I like to put a little bit of sugar, onions. Like, that's fine. Just try to stick to the script. But what we've discovered is that the secret is in the oil. Okay. So we started using, because in the pressure cooker, you don't have to use a lot of water. I mean, really the only water that we use is what, comes off after we rinse the greens. So it might be maybe half a cup, enough to make some good pot liquor. Okay. So I started off using extra virgin olive oil. Yeah. Now I'm not a professional chef. I'm not Eduardo, right? You're going to see it tomorrow, right? But I feel as though my mom was a great cook, so it's in my blood. And her dad was a professional chef in Pittsburgh, and so. But I feel like that the extra virgin olive oil cuts the bitterness of the collard greens, and it's a nice blend. The extra virgin olive oil, and then my secret seasonings on top of that with the smoked turkey. And so lately we've tried a sunflower olive oil blend, which is really nice. It's a little bit lighter.
Garlic.
Yeah. And my brother developed these flavored oils. So he developed a sriracha flavored oil. Now you can find these, right? You can find flavored oil in the grocery store. And we were looking one time. We were at a supermarket. And my brother saw a sriracha oil, and he says, "I think I can do that." Yeah. And so we looked at the ingredients, and I looked it up on YouTube. And my brother and I, he was my older brother, so I'm the youngest of 6. He was always trying to have one up on me, and so I looked it up on YouTube. He wasn't a techie. I'm techie. I'm like, I'm gonna look it up, and you see people pouring oil in the pan and like the pepper flakes or the garlic, or whatever, and then doing it that way. He says, that's not good. He said, they're not doing it right. I said, what do you mean? These are professional people. He goes, no, they're burning the oil. He goes, I'm going to develop a way to do it better. So he did it like our mother would can, right? He put it in mason jars, the oil, and the sun-dried tomato, and the pepper flakes, and the garlic, dehydrated garlic, and he boiled it in a pot like you were canning. And he was right. He didn't burn the oil, right? First time out, he made the sriracha. First time out, it was like, wow. Yeah. It was the same reaction that Andrida and I had when we first discovered how to do collard greens in the pressure cooker the right way, which we were adding too much liquid before. We didn't need all that, And so by mistake, we discovered we didn't have to do that. So my brother made this oil, and so we got to thinking like, wow, you can actually flavor your greens through the oils. So he developed the garlic flavored oil. When we do that, then Andrida started mixing the garlic and the sriracha, and lately we've experimented with avocado oil.
Yes.
Ooh.
I know. Yeah, it's really good.
This is just going to go on, isn't it? It's going to go on and on. An endless list of oils and things.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, Andrida, you grew up eating collard greens, right?
Absolutely. Both my parents were from Birmingham, Alabama, they lived 7 blocks apart. So both grandmothers were cooking greens. Great grandmothers was cooked, and I knew them all. My great grandmothers, I was blessed because I knew all my great grandmothers, and they all cooked greens, and the grandmothers cooked greens. So, and my father became one of the top chefs. So couldn't get around not eating greens. Favorite food. That's my favorite food. Literally, I can eat collard greens every day.
Every day.
I never get tired of them.
I make collard green omelets now.
Yes.
Ooh.
You know, this is beginning to sound like Bubba Shrimp.
This is great.
Collard green almonds, collard green fried.
You knew you can get some of that color.
Yeah, that's the truth.
And I think we're about to hear some more family stories and maybe even family rivalries in the next segment of episode 3 of Your Real Stories, featuring the Tampa Bay Collard Green Festival.
All right.
All right.
Yay.
Nice.
Here it is.
Okay.
I think I might have made collard greens maybe once before I started doing it this way. Because it's so labor intensive.
Right.
Right?
Especially the fresh collards.
The fresh ones.
Picking them.
Cleaning them.
No one has
labor
time.
intensive. But
Right.
I remember my mom really laboring over making these collard greens. And my aunt Selma actually made the best greens.
I don't think.
Okay, well,
you know,
we'll talk about
we'll
Aunt
get
Pinky.
into
We'll get to
that.
that. We'll get to Aunt Pinky a little
Oh,
bit later.
let's see your face.
But my aunt Selma, I remember my aunt Selma making collard greens in Cleveland, Ohio.
Mhm.
And she would she would chop them so fine. They would just be, and then she put a little bit of vinegar in them.
Yeah, gotta have the vinegar. Yeah.
That was the best. I was born in Pennsylvania, but my parents were both born in Mississippi. They were sons and daughters of sharecroppers and farmed. I think my dad, mom had like 3 or 4 acres of land. So they had a big garden. So during the summer, they would grow produce, and collard greens was a thing.
Absolutely.
And I remember that it was when the fall, the first frost, when the first frost hit the collard greens, that's when you really wanted them because they would become sweeter. So I think I made maybe a part or two, tried to in my life, but this electric pressure cooker changed everything.
Yeah.
And so going back to that story, we unlocked the steam. I said, I don't know what's going to happen because I didn't put the liquid in the pot, right? And so we took the lid off, stirred it up, put a little sample in. I tasted it, and I said, "Oh my God, what just happened here?" I said, Andrida, come here. I said, "Taste this." And I tasted her eyes. Like, oh my God! It was like a flavor from collard greens like we had never tasted.
Wow.
And so from there, that's kind of where it started with. At that point, just sharing with friends of like, hey, check this out. And that's when Samantha and I started talking about, the next thing. Because when the first time I gave her the greens, she had that same reaction.
Yeah.
But to this day, she won't admit that these are the best greens she's ever had. Right?
Because
they were her greens.
Her aunt Pinky, she said, these are almost. She emphasized almost. These are almost as good as my aunt Pinky's greens.
So what was it about Aunt Pinky's?
I don't know. To this day, she has let me in her kitchen. Aunt Pinky was that aunt back in the day where we could not go in her kitchen. At no point in time, she was that kind of aunt. She's like, y'all better get out my kitchen. So I was never allowed in the kitchen. So when she let me in to see the rest, I was like,
You were like,
I'm
oh my
honored. She told me her recipe, and to this day, I won't tell him what the secret ingredient is.
Let me get that recipe.
Then you know you won't. It's a turkey leg. I'll tell you that. It's a turkey leg.
That's it.
It's
That's all you need to know.
greens, and it's her special seasoning. So yeah, Auntie Pinky is no joke. Yeah, so I told her, I said, Auntie, you have to enter the collard cook-off because you're gonna win. You're gonna beat his greens. You're gonna beat. Well, I'm sorry.
Is she gonna?
I'm sorry, Kiva.
Listen, I'm just happy to be here. But hey, I love the festival, so I want to keep coming.
You want to keep going?
Yeah.
So you're making it
Yeah.
That's great.
So what about that festival? You two obviously were in some kind of competition. How'd you come up with the idea?
Listen.
Why a festival? What happened?
We met at church. Me, him, and his wife, we met at church. We were raising funds for the kids to make it to Ohio.
Right.
And so he told me about this little stupid pressure cooker idea with his greens.
You're like, okay.
Oh, you're wrong because
Yeah,
no one makes their greens
In
in
a
a pressure cooker.
Right.
So I know they're horrible, but I'll taste them. Like no one does,
Like,
who
sure.
does that.
Right.
But to his credit, he made some, and I said, you know what? I couldn't give him 100%. I had to give him like 89.
Right.
I just say, these are good. These are good. You're onto something. So our thing was, I too made collard greens with turkey meat as he does as well. And so we realized in the African American community that a lot of us, we don't really pay attention to what we're eating until it's, I don't want to say it's till it's too late. Obviously, we know we need to eat better. We know we need to go outside and walk and do these things that will give us a better quality of life. But how can we present this information to the community at large? What can we do? So I was telling you earlier, we wanted to sell the greens during the MLK parade. We were like, hey, so let's just make some greens. Let's make some greens. Let's just follow the parade route and sell them. And then he went out of town, which left me to do it. And I was like, no, I'm not. That's too much work. It's going to be a negative. I'm not going to do that. So we were sitting there talking, like, how can we get this idea out to the community? And we literally sat there. We said, what about a collard green festival? And for the next 20 minutes, we laughed. It was the funniest joke. It was hysterical. We were like, what kind of silliness shenanigan is this? And then we pulled out our phones. We pulled out our phones and we looked up Google and we just said, hey, we just wanted to see if there were any collard green festivals. Now, this was like May, June of 2017. There was a collard green festival in Jacksonville. Big Mama's in Sarasota was going. There were some in other states. And then there was also one in Lithonia, Georgia.
Lithonia, Georgia.
Yep.
To the original collard green.
To the original collard green festival.
Right. So we said we wanted to see what they were doing.
We wanted to see what they were doing.
And then from that point, we just figured out, okay, that's what they did.
Right.
Now, what could we do?
So you didn't want to do the same thing.
You wanted to make it unique to our community.
Right. Well, each time there's you bring in a celebrity chef.
Yes.
Right.
You did that this year.
Yes, we did.
Who'd you bring in this time?
Tony Tipton Martin. I was just like the whole time, like, just tell me more about our culture, about everything. And she also is a proponent of eating healthier and preparing your foods in a healthier way. And the wealth of information that she shared with us was just mind-boggling.
Well, she's a food journalist.
Mind-boggling.
And a historian.
Right.
And through her cookbooks, the Jemima Code and her recent cookbook, Jubilee, which is on this year's New York Times list of best cookbooks of the year. It's not just a cookbook.
Right.
It's a history lesson, right? And so she's giving credit to the original culinary experts in the kitchen, going even back to slavery time.
Who were slaves. Who were slaves. Right.
Getting credit for these recipes, right? And so people are still asking if we can bring her back.
Yes.
Legit.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it was just so much a wealth of information and knowledge.
Wow. So this is great, Boyzell. Hearing this interview again and hearing you talking about how it started like a joke.
Yes.
And hearing you and Samantha just laughing about it. And it's just so funny because I'm looking at the comments. Our show director just brought it to my attention, everybody who's joining us on YouTube Live. And you've just got so many fans and so many people that are so excited for tomorrow. I just think, and it's even more special to be coming back at this time.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, it really is. You forget about some of those details because we were raising funds at the church. It was funny. So like after church, like the whole lobby smelled like collard greens. Almost some stumbles broke out. We get down to the bottom. I just take the pot liquor.
And they sold out
every time.
They sold out every time.
Every time.
Yeah.
It probably will continue to be that way. It just, every time we get together and talk about the festival, it just reminds me again of how important it is that the Tampa Bay Collard Greens Festival and Your Real Stories are partnering together, because it's those stories that matter so much. I remember when we were at the table that we were talking about how our grandmothers ate the collard greens. There was consensus. Grandma and Boyzell put that fork down and got the cornbread and had the cornbread visit that collard greens right on the plate. You can't beat those stories. You can't, and that's what it seems to happen every time the festival comes around. Those stories come out,
yes,
and that's what. Because telling the community story.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Collard.
It's so important, and that's what we want to continue to endeavor to capture those stories. I
Yes.
remember when we talked about the idea, because you all had already started your stories and doing things. We have partnered with some other
Yeah.
projects, and I remember sharing the idea of the festival. And the first thing was that we need you all to help us tell these stories.
Mhm.
And so to be able to get to this point, that it's like it really
Full
has
circle.
come full circle.
Mhm.
Is really
Yeah.
amazing, really
Yeah.
amazing. And we got and some things that are going to be happening tomorrow. We're going to honor as our first honorary collard green king, Mr. Mordecai Walker,
Mhm.
who
Oh,
will
wow.
be 97 this coming July 4th. He's still in good mind. A retired educator, master horticulturist.
Yes.
Just full of knowledge about the area. So
Yeah.
Ms. Gwendolyn Reese of the African American Heritage
Yeah.
Association is going to be presenting this award and talking a little bit about Mr. Walker's legacy. So that's going to be exciting tomorrow. So we're trying to capture these stories.
Great.
That is.
And how old did you say Mr. Walker was? You broke up a little.
He's 96. He'll be 97 on July 4th this year.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. He's got a rich legacy here in St. Petersburg, in Tampa Bay.
And he's seen a lot.
Yes,
Here.
he has seen
Because-
an awful.
Yeah. So much has happened.
Yeah,
So
but
much
it's
has
so
happened in Little St. Pete. Yeah. This is
Ooh.
great. This is great. So what's not to like? Stories, storytellers, collard greens,
You got it.
cornbread.
That's right.
You got it all. And also tomorrow, not to give away too much, but you might want to tune in. Yeah, make it. We are going to live stream the festival. It's going to be long, 4 hours, but you can tune in and tune out.
Great.
The agenda is posted. If it's not posted, we'll get it posted on Facebook, so you can kind of, how live events go. They don't always go according to the timing, but we got Mr. Walker. And at the end of the festival, Dr. LaDonna Butler of The Well will be debuting her idea of the Collard Green Chronicles, right? And so, so she's using that about about food and storytelling as a
Healing process.
as a healing.
Yes.
Oh, this is
She's
great.
going to talk about that a little bit tomorrow at the festival and
Yes.
unveil that. So that should be exciting.
Yeah, and Dr. Butler is actually with us
Yes.
on YouTube Live, as
Oh,
are
cool.
so many other amazing people. We're so excited to see you joining us.
Yeah.
So you want to watch the last couple episodes of the show?
Do it.
Or not episodes, I mean segments. Last
Segments.
couple segments.
Yeah.
All right.
Here we go.
So what was it that you liked to do that nobody else did?
You know, it's so funny. I used to love playing restaurant. Saturday mornings, I would wake up, I would go in the kitchen, I would look to see what's in there, I would make a menu.
Is this right?
My brothers and sisters would wake up, I would give them a menu. Hey, what do you guys want to eat? We would like pretend like we were at a restaurant, and I would cook it. I was always in the kitchen. I don't even remember when I wasn't in the kitchen. So I was around my mom. She would cook, like I said, stuff in the pressure cooker. She would cook crab. She would cook oxtails, rice, whatever. I was always in the kitchen. So I think it was just, you could just create whatever you wanted. You just had for us, we didn't really have much. So whatever we had to come up with something. To just being able to create something and just keep trying. Sometimes you'd have to throw it away. Sometimes you burnt it. Sometimes mom would yell, but after a while, you just kept trying and then you just finally got it. So I just love cooking. I love cooking. So the Collard Green Festival is just perfect for me.
One of the great things about your festival is mature people, I will say, I'm not old, mature people there who've been cooking collard greens for a long time, and they bring, and they're looking for a particular kind of thing, but they're children. You've got them all, little ones and on up. What are you hoping that the children take away from your festival?
Well, I bring my kids with me, so they enjoy it. Let them see you know, the history and the culture. It's at a perfect location in the museum, so you're getting, you know, history lesson, and also you're seeing
Sure.
visual, you know, effects of collard greens and just the way people are utilizing it, or just, you know, incorporating into your everyday life.
That's the goal. It's a family event. You know, we want to encourage the adults in the household, but we want the children to also not be afraid of a broccoli or an asparagus. I mean, the collard green is the draw. It's the draw, but we're really talking about growing your own food. We want them to get out there and to get their little collard plant and to be inquisitive in the little garden section and earn their stamps and to earn a prize for learning more about, hey, you know, I'm a farmer, I'm a gardener, you know, I can eat fresh and healthy food. Like one of our vendors, they had just healthy food just sitting out there and the kids just came and ate it, you know, and then that's what it's about. So we just really believe that the change starts with that generation right there. And that's another aspect of the festival. You know, we don't have to boil our vegetables to death. We can broil them, we can bake them, we can roast them, we can grill them, we can put them in an electric pressure cooker for 5 minutes. You know, there's so many different ways that we can eat these foods that are really good for us. And like he said, in our community, we're really murdering the food and then we're wondering why we're having these adverse consequences. But yeah, it just starts with the kids.
Getting these community gardens, you know, to get on board so that the kids can have hands-on activities and they see the whole cycle. You know, they plant, they grow, they cook, they taste, it's good.
So that specialness, there's something really special about your collard greens because you've won awards twice. What is that special ingredient? Would you tell us that? What's the secret?
The secret is me. Like, I mean, they're my collard greens.
Oh, you're the secret.
I mean, wouldn't you say? I mean, each individual person has their own little way of making them. So they're similar, but then they're like different. I'm gonna go with that. I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee.
Is that right?
Definitely a Southern belle.
As you're growing up, I know you talked about your mother is vegan.
My mom and dad.
Mom and dad are both vegan. Were their parents?
No, so we grew up in Memphis, Tennessee. You know,
yes, Memphis
down
is
south.
a neat kind of place.
Yeah, so you know, we had your chitlins and your pork and your, you know, all that stuff. But my mom had like a health scare where she got breast cancer, and she didn't want to go the traditional route of like, you know, chemotherapy and radiation. She wanted to try like a homeopathic type of thing. So she decided to go the nature route. Like she just changed her diet. So she decided, I'm just gonna go all in and with, you know, trying like nutrition as a way of, you know, making food your medicine. So she did that and she became a vegetarian. She started as a vegetarian and then she gradually, when she saw the benefits, like started eliminating like dairy and stuff and became a vegan.
What an amazing story.
I know. I'm proud of her.
Wow.
That's great.
That is an amazing story. So Kiva won the contest twice.
Yes.
Is she poised to win again?
Well, we're not going to have a cook-off this year, you know, just being mindful of the pandemic. So she won, I believe she won like the vegan category. Emily Brown Williams, who's also been a big supporter of ours. She's with Healthy Start and John Hopkins All Children's Hospital. And she makes me and collard green too now. And she'll give it to me too. Like she won't let it die that she is the collard green queen. So let me just tell you what happened with my collard greens that everybody loves that have never won because they haven't seen a lot of the competition, right? So in year one, right, I'm preparing my competition greens, even despite the protest of being a co-founder. How can I enter it? It's a blind contest. Who knows, right? One of our presenters failed to show up, and we were starting the festival. And so Samantha and I had to scramble. So they said, well, we better just do a demonstration on how we do it. So I had to use my competition greens to do the demonstration, you know. So we gave out the samples to the crowd, to what terrain reviews, I would say. And and then in year 2 and year 3, as we endeavored to get our food court. So we're learning stuff all the time. So we got this food court that we call the Galleria of Greens, right? One day we're going to really get it right.
Yeah.
But the first year, man, these electric pressure cookers, they were popping the circuit breakers, you know, at Cheap Creole's Cafe. He wasn't too happy about that. And, you know, things kind of stalled. And then, you know, last year, I said, okay, I got it. I'm going to rent a diesel generator. Okay. Well,
Right.
they dropped the generator off, and we had to kind of figure it out. And these aren't just plugs; they were like these big old things. And so my brother, he was mad at me because he was late getting started. So he took my competition greens again. You know,
People were waiting on already, and it's like they're waiting and they're waiting. So we need to start. And
so there it is.
green's gone.
Gone.
But then also, did you have to do something?
No, it was there. It was just that we just got late. So we're learning. You know, it's not perfect. Yeah, hey, I can admit my mistakes. So, but I think next year, year 5, I'm going to have. They're going to be in the competition.
That's the magic year.
Yes, year 5. Which we hope. Which we hope we can push the festival back to February.
February.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, hopefully we're past the COVID thing and we can get back to February.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, I just want to shout out to Kiva Williams, who Rachel just put up her post on YouTube.
Oh,
She's letting us know that she's here with us. I think she's going to keep competing against you, Boyzell.
You know, we got a friendly competition going. You know, she's a great food blogger out of Tampa. You know, we did some things last week over at the new food court, 22 South last week. So, and Kiva's great, man. She keeps it up. Yep.
That's great. All right. Well, the show that we're watching together, we're in segment 4. We've got 2 more minutes of this show, and then we'll have some more conversation about the whole thing and tomorrow and the year that has intervened. So bless you, Andrida. All right.
Thanks.
There we go.
What absolutely surprised you about the festival? Absolutely. Your biggest surprise?
I think for me, it was the overwhelming, diversity and the camaraderie with the diversity, everybody getting along, from all walks of life. Right here in South St. Petersburg, in the hood, everybody felt relaxed and comfortable and getting along and just celebrating the culture. That surprised me. I was like, wow.
Absolutely. This is really about a healthy lifestyle choice. If you just implement one thing from the festival, we did our job. You come back next year, can you do something else? Can you teach your kid? Can you tell your grandma? Hey grandma, can we just lay off the pork leg this time? Can we just try the vegan sriracha this time? Can we go outside and walk? It's just implementing those things step by step. We understand it's baby steps, but yeah, that's what we hope people can take away from it, from year by year. You just do something different. You just grow.
What's your wish for the festival?
My wish would be to see the festival grow into something that the city looks forward to every year.
I wish for the festival that basically that it continues to benefit the communities, even in ways not even imagined now.
Boyzell, you see your photo credit in there? That's for some of that beautiful portraiture that you've done for your real stories all those years ago, and it shows up in the open to the show.
That's awesome. Nice.
Yeah.
It was a good feeling to see that. That's my. I'm not sure what I'm doing with the festival. To be honest, I can't.
This is
So and it was the open for all the shows, for every episode.
Yeah.
So
We-
that's pretty much true, isn't it? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we changed it up every time. You saw in the opening of the show for episode 3, we showed a picture of Kiva Williams and her daughter. Yeah, so we tried to include a little piece. We changed the open every week to include whoever was featured. But I want to talk about that fourth segment that we just saw, where you and Samantha talk about your hopes and your goals for the festival. And it's just so clear from seeing everybody that's joined us on YouTube, how excited everybody is and how important this event has become for the community. What kind of feedback do you get? I mean, especially about the health piece. Are people telling you that you really are changing their minds about trying new things? Or
yeah, we get a lot of that. Folks are truly inspired, to do better. We've even had people reaching out even at the last minute wanting to, help out or present at the festival because they have a message to tell. And I think it's made us a lot more mindful as well. Just to like listen to all these great stories, that are out there. I think we're all living in a time where we're becoming more health conscious, about our nutrition, and our diet. It's so important, especially in this age of, pandemics and things like that. We're working out now at an outdoor gym a few days a week, trying to, stay healthy and in shape and all that. Yes, definitely inspiring people. Like I said earlier, they did not want it to skip a year. And it was interesting to hear what I said in that interview, because I think some things that we have not imagined are starting to happen. You know what I mean? I mean, it's sort of like the Field of Dreams. We built it, and then we had these categories of the culinary experience and the fitness, and those were sponsorship categories. And this year was the first year that we had a true title sponsor. So Publix, and so like the first couple of years of Publix, they sort of said, talk to the hand. Metaphorically, and then last year they found us.
Yes.
One of the regional reps said, "Hey, he was new. He was looking for events that they could get involved with, and he ran across our website and he saw our mission on there, and he took a chance and reached out, and that's how the whole conversation started. Now, so these are the things that to me that are unimaginable, right? So you get a reputable title sponsor, then you get other folks like now you got Humana and Simply Healthcare, Sunshine Health. Those are health conscious organizations, right?
Yes.
So it takes a lot to put on a festival. This would be the first year that we really don't have to go in our own pockets, to make it. We're not making money, but we like the thing that this is the one thing that I imagined. I mentioned this to Andrida and Samantha. I said, wow, wouldn't it be nice if we can actually grow this organization to the point that we can offer some paid positions? What I mean? It's not our money to keep. We're facilitators and we want to get this message out. We believe that we'll be blessed in other ways. We're not looking for the paycheck. I don't want to go broke. And it is a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is a lot of work. So there are some things that we need to do to grow the organization in the right way, to position it in a way that it will scale properly. The goal is not to get big. The goal is to do the right thing. That's the goal. If we get big because of that, and if people can benefit, it'd be nice if we got to the point where we can pay somebody to do something that we need to get done to make the festival really benefit people, to impact their lives.
Yes.
That's in a good way.
Right. And you had these wonderful volunteers as well.
Yeah.
You had this tremendous cadre of volunteers.
Yeah, volunteers are so important. So, maybe you listen and you don't need to sign up on the link. Just show up tomorrow morning.
Show up.
Be there at 7 a.m. We'll be setting up at 7 a.m. It's over at 2. We'll need help parking, cleaning, and just everything. You know, just come on
Yeah,
by.
especially the end.
At the end, it's a lot. It's a lot. You know, I probably won't get much sleep tonight trying to finish off
No.
because we're
So
doing this. Huh?
do you get a T-shirt? You show up
T-shirt?
tomorrow? Do you get a T-shirt?
Yes. I don't have them to show right now because I think that's what Samantha's doing. She's picking up T-shirts right now. So, like I said, we have plenty from last year too. So, but yeah, we'll have a few T-shirts. We got some beautiful awards that we're going to give Mr. Mordecai Walker and the winner of our first ever high school collard green recipe contest winner.
Right.
All right, and this
excellent.
It was produced by ACF of Tampa Bay, and it's I can tell what it is. It's a collard green cupcake.
Oh,
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
I must have it.
Yeah.
I must have it.
Yeah, it's great. And so this young woman, she's gonna demo that live, and then we have a video of her making it, and we'll show that in our virtual portion. And we're gonna run the virtual portion toward the end of the festival, like in that 2 or 3 o'clock hour. You know, just because of the unpredictability of live, streaming. You know, we're not as fancy as Euro Stories and all this stuff, man. You know, we're still learning how to do all this stuff.
So are we. All the stories you were talking about, we can relate to. So,
and we will always be your partners. So, you can count on us to be partners with at any time.
I see Andrew Walker on here. That's
yeah.
Andrew Walker.
Yeah,
Yes.
I see your comment. That's Mordecai.
Oh yeah.
He's been real helpful for us too.
Yeah.
Real helpful.
That's
There
amazing.
are all kinds of people here on this who have
That's cool.
tapped in.
Yeah. So many people that are so important to our community. Are right here supporting you. It's really amazing.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Because you're doing the right thing.
There you go.
Yeah.
I see from Dr. Denny Elliott from USF.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Reverend Kenny Irby.
Oh yeah.
Kenny Irby, Dr. LaDonna Butler.
Yeah.
All right. Yep.
So
Kenny Irby. That's my brother from another.
So Rachel Harrison, who's directing our show tonight, is saying, please make sure everybody knows where the festival is.
Yes.
So it's at the Carter G. Woodson.
Yeah, it's so this year we're not going to actually be on the grounds of the Carter G. Woodson because they're still closed because of the pandemic, but we still are right in front on 9th Avenue South and 22nd Street South in St. Petersburg. 9th Avenue South has that amazing Black Lives Matter mural with all the different artists that contributed to each letter. It's still in good shape, so it's right there. There's a great green space across the street. So right in the heart of the Deuces of St. Petersburg, and we chose we endeavor to stay in that area, because it's an area that's been maligned a lot. It's been stereotyped with a lot of negative stereotypes, and we always wanted to show that things of excellence do come out of that area. We're not the first to do things of excellence out of that area, but we are getting some attention, and so that's important, and it is a part of the community that does experience food insecurities, some inequities, and some areas of that have food deserts. So we need people to come and to this area, and we need residents of that area to be able to partake in a lot of this stuff. There's gonna be some good information coming out. People we've been partnered with the Saturday Morning Market, Gail Eggman.
Yes.
And she's been really big about telling people how to take advantage of their SNAP dollars. So if you're using SNAP dollars, and what she told me, like even through the end of the year, you can get 100% match on your fresh produce if you buy it from a Florida grower, right? 100% match. You can double that. You can double your fresh produce. And a lot of people don't take advantage of it. A lot of folks that go to the Saturday Morning Market in downtown St. Pete, which is wonderful, but it's not really the demographic that would be using, the SNAP dollars. And a lot of folks don't know that you can actually, double your money I think when that 100% goes, I think normally it's like 40%. That's still really good. So there's information like that. You know, we've got people like Marie Scott, who has an organization to combat gun violence. You know, yeah, and it's all that stuff, and it's diverse. You're gonna see black, white, you know, brown, Asian, you know, everything. Yeah,
Native American.
Yeah, we don't have a political agenda with the festival.
All right. What I remember about being at some of the festivals is that people come from all over the country because they're drawn to Tampa Bay, and then they hear about the festival and they show up. And I imagine that will happen. That will begin to happen again as we get through this.
Who picked it up last year? Remember, and they showed it throughout the whole state of Florida.
Yeah, the Florida Humanities. You know, and that was intentional when we talked about the festival naming it. You know, we thought about St. Petersburg Collard Green Festival, and then we landed on Tampa Bay because we wanted to be able to capture the imagination of the entire area, and the fact that we're growing, you know, fresh produce and especially collard greens in the middle of winter, right?
Yes.
And it's in Black History Month. That's important, right? And also the fact that President's Day weekend. It's a 4-day weekend for a lot of people. So, you know, if you're freezing up north, you think you want to get away for a nice 4-day weekend for a niche festival, then come on down. You know, check us out at the Tampa Bay Collard Green Festival. You know? Check out Tampa Bay while you're at it.
That's great.
As you show up.
So you're shooting for February of next year?
Yeah, we're shooting for February next year. If things go well, I believe it's the 19th. February 19th is President's Day weekend.
Okay.
And that's what we're aiming for.
Great. Well, let's decide now that we're going to do this again. Festival. Let's do it. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Later exactly how it's going to look, but at least we've got a date.
Well, and on that note, I've got two questions. One, here we are doing a virtual event. Is there anything, and you've got live streaming tomorrow, is there anything that you've learned from having to do this that would, you know, that you're going to carry into the future?
Well, you know, I mean, Andrida can probably speak for herself, because she says I work her like a dog during the festival, you know, but yeah, we definitely, like I said earlier, you know, we need to position the organization so that, you know, we can delegate more, provide more opportunity for people, you know, to contribute to the festival as well. Because the model that we have now, though it's good, it's not sustainable long term. So, you know, the things that we learn, you know, to preparation and planning and getting your ask in early.
Yes.
You know, and we've always known this, you know, Andrida and I, you know, life is all about leveraging relationships, right? I mean, it's our relationship with you all. It's the folks that are watching, you know, that we have relationships with. You know, you develop relationships with new people, you know, as you're giving your pitch, and you gotta do things that are mindful, you know, that will keep you in the forefront of their minds. Yes.
With this experience of this whole year of COVID-19, so much has happened between the Collard Green Festival 2020 and the one that we're in right now. Is there anything that you carry with you that you want to carry forward, or that has changed the way you think about your mission or the festival?
Wow.
Well, you know, I think nothing's really changed for me. I believe because of what we've experienced, and you know, I'll speak for myself. I'm gonna let Andrida speak for herself. But I think for me, I'm doubling down, you know, on mindfulness. You know what I mean? Because life is short. And you know,
life is short. Eat more collard greens more often.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean,
Be like Andrida, and eat them every day.
I could have, if I could have my brother back with me, and my brother-in-law, back with us. You just never know when that might be your last meal.
That's it. Because we were sharing collard greens with him before.
We were sharing collard greens with Bob.
Mm-hmm.
Before we all, got impacted.
Right.
So this is important. These relationships, these moments that we share. We can't take it for granted.
No.
And we all want to enjoy the bodies that we live in, right?
Yes.
We want to be healthy. We want to be sound mind.
Yes.
And we want peace. I think most of us want peace, especially with all that's going on in the world today.
Yes.
That's one thing that I really think represents when you see people out there having a good time.
Yes.
Dancing with each other, black, white, whatever. That's a vision.
And that's good for the soul. It's good for healing to be able to laugh and share and have good happiness. And celebrating the food.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of families that come home and having that family time together.
Yeah.
You got so many well-wishers out here. I think this is great.
Yes,
Diane,
really. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's
Sunderland. Much love and success.
Yay!
Yay, Ray.
I bet you there are a lot of people that just can't wait to get out there and share this with you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know what to expect, because it's just I feel people are going to show up, and like I said, this is a scaled back festival this year. We're not doing the things that we usually do. Though we've added the live streaming, but yeah.
Well, I just want to say thanks.
Yes.
For letting us be a part of this, because I'm actually not in St. Petersburg, so I wouldn't be able to join you tomorrow. I actually had to go home to take care of my mom for a bit. So I'm really grateful for this opportunity to be able to share this with you, and I wish you all the best for tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're honored that you would have us. Absolutely.
And I will be there looking for a T-shirt and a smoothie. Maybe I'll do something about that yoga. That could be good.
Ooh, that sounds great.
Yeah.
You got Clayton Sizemore and Annika Keeler. It doesn't get much better than that.
The top
Love
yoga.
Yes.
Ooh, are you live streaming that? Because I'll join you.
We are.
Okay, great.
We are. Yep. If all goes well, just
That would be great.
technology.
Great. So,
This is
Jay?
great. I just want to shout out to everybody that helped us produce this show tonight. Rachel Harrison, who's been calling the show and directing, and Amanda LaForge, who's been managing, just making sure we can see everything that everybody that's joining us in YouTube is saying, and Sam Bumberg, who's here helping behind the scenes, and and also just a shout out to everybody who helped us produce the Your Real Story show. There are 13 episodes in all, and this is the first one that we're actually showing ourselves publicly. I will say the show actually did air right before COVID. We had an opportunity to show this show on the Black News Channel out of Tallahassee, and we had big plans for creating this show, we started out the first 3 episodes with big giant camera crews and going all over and interviewed some really amazing people, you all included. And then this was the last one we did before COVID, before we went into quarantine. And actually we interviewed Reverend Kenny Irby for episode 4 right at the beginning of our St. Petersburg's quarantine. So we'll be showing more, and but we're just really honored and excited that we got to share this one with you all in this way.
Yes.
Yeah, we're honored.
How can we find you? And I know you got some exciting shows coming up. Can you tip us off to what we might be was that to see?
We're actually working on COVID stories, race resilience, and a new reality. So a lot of the interviews that we did for the television show we're actually following up with some of those folks. Essentially, episodes 4 through 13 were all about COVID and what we were going through. We interviewed people from theater companies, both regionally and also across the country. We interviewed some healthcare workers, just people that we interviewed families that were dealing with homeschooling their kids. So we're actually following up on those interviews, and we'll be putting that together for a series of shows, culminating in a show in October, and partially funded by the Florida Humanities Council. So we're really excited about that. Lil, is there anything else you want to mention?
That sounds like the list. But we are thinking about sharing the stories that the shows that we've already done, because most people haven't seen them, and we'll be doing that. And each time we will be interviewing the principals again, as we're doing here, revisiting those interviews and getting some updated information. So look out for that. We'll make sure we put that out, and you'll know exactly when and where, and you can join us online.
Yeah, we do have some other programming up our sleeve that will be really exciting things we'll be announcing too. So
stay tuned to Your Real Stories.
Yeah. But congratulations to the Tampa Bay Collard Green Festival.
Yeah. Congratulations indeed. I'll be there.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Collards After Dark.